either guy can answer. How similar was this game to like the first time y'all played?
Just the thing with them, they're a great offensive team. Like offensive efficiency wise, I think they're like top 50 in the country. They got a lot of pieces. So again, our main focus coming in was we had to get stops, pay heavy attention to the scout, and I think we executed that today, especially in the second half.
Yeah, what'd you think about the first? Because I mean, was it they were just hitting everything, or did you guys feel not as good about how you were guarding them?
I mean, like I say about them, just tough offensive team, and once they get going, they can be hard to stop. Guys were making shots, but they got a great point guard in Bell, just getting guys open looks and in the spots where they're effective. So I think that played a huge part, and we talked that over in the second half, and I mean, paid a difference.
Yeah, they came out ready to go. We had to make a couple adjustments, but you know they're a great team, so you got to give them credit.
What'd you think about their approach to the game? I thought it was feistier than some of the other games. Like they were especially Lewis was making some threes and letting everybody know about it. Did that help you guys, or did it affect you in any way? Or no?
I mean, the last game was kind of like that when we were up at their place in that second half. They got the energy, talking a little bit, so we knew that was coming. They punched us first in those first 8 minutes. I thought we responded well. But yeah, it's a dogfight whenever we play them. So it's a good win for us.
They seemed to kind of hit a wall in the second half. They clearly started to slow down a little bit. Was that kind of one of those blood in the water moments for you guys?
It was the defense. I feel like guys stepped up. I mean, B's our leader out there. He called us, huddle us up. Got to get stops, got to get kills. And when we emphasize that, I mean, we're dangerous because the stops turn the offense, and that's when we at our best, when we get the stops.
Yep. What was the difference on Lewis in the second half? He had 19 in the first half. You guys, I noticed AP was on him quite a bit. You rolled some other guys over on him. What was the difference in focus in the second half?
I mean, we have great coaches. We made some adjustments. We talked some things over at halftime in the huddles. He's a good player, big guy, can shoot it, so we knew we had to be on it. But yeah, coaches, they were all over it. We switched it up, and guarded him pretty well in the second half.
All right. Obviously, it was a interesting week. I know a lot of guys not feeling the best. What to say about this team, but after a rough week like this, to come out and pull out a tough conference win?
I think it just speaks volumes on our toughness. I mean, usual guys out sick, and we always have that next man up mentality. Like tonight, it was 4 guys hovering around 20, and when you have that, I mean, we're just dangerous. Everybody knows Cal's a big part of it, and he couldn't play his usual minutes just under the weather, and the next guy is ready to step up. Coach preached that day in and day out, and guys really believe that. So.
The thing I told our guys in the locker room was how we defended in the second half was probably as good as we've been all year long. I mean, they're a very, very, very efficient offensive team. They're very good offensively. And down there, they scored almost 100 points and scored, I think they were 56% from the field or something like that. And, to hold them to 32% in the second half and 39 for the game is very encouraging. And I told our players that, this time of year, everybody's got stuff going on. They're sick, and, Dave asked me in the thing, he goes, well, it's 5 or 6 guys sick. Billy Donovan told me one time, never underestimate how messed up your opponent's locker room is. They probably had 8 guys sick. It's that way this time of year, whether it's bodies banged up, ankles turned, sniffles, and those type of things. But I was proud of our guys' toughness and wherewithal it was a weird day because there were weird 2 days of preparation because you didn't know who was going to be at practice, who wasn't going to be at practice. It was really odd. So we had to really do some different things, and it was more walk through and talk through oriented, and we had a really long shoot around today, longer than probably we've ever had in my 7 years, right, Mr. Godbold here. At the end of it, I looked at what time it was and was like, I gotta, we're gonna meet in the locker room for the game soon. It was kind of weird, but I was proud of our guys and how they prepared amidst all of that type of adversity the last couple of days. And, give Jeff Lahr a big shout out because he works hard. He's those kids' mothers. He's their mother when they're away. When you're sick, your mom gets you your chicken soup and takes care of you, gets you your orange juice, picks up your medications, takes you to the doctor's office. He does all that stuff. And he's the guy they call in the middle of the night when they're throwing up, you know. And it's just how it is. That's a thankless job, but it's a very valuable job around the country. That role of being, you know, the sports medicine person and the trainer. He does an unbelievable job getting our guys better.
They had like such a good shooting first half and were like letting you guys know about it. Do you feel like that helped you all get fired up a little bit? Because I'm sure you had some things to say at halftime, but I mean, it was a feisty game. You know, they were hitting threes and then talking after it. I thought. What'd you think? Do you feel like that had any
I mean,
impact on you guys?
that's it's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
all right.
I mean, that's okay.
What'd you think of Francois Lewis? I thought in the first half he was really good. In the second half, you guys did
Very good. He's
much
a very
better
good
job.
player.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's a matchup nightmare. You know, quick trigger. I mean, that thing gets off fast, and he can really get going. And got in the flow early. And I think we did a better job in the second half. I think, you know, they're a very efficient offensive team. They don't play quite at the same pace we do.
Mhm.
And I felt like, you know, the game was really getting into our pace in the second half. There were a lot of possessions, I think, in the game. And, you know, I think a little of it is, I mean, they're like, you know, his legs he didn't have quite the same spring in his jump shot in the second half that he does in the first half. But the way the start he got off to, I thought he was going to have 50 or 60 or something. I think he was on pace for it. But, yeah, he's a good player.
You talked about the way you defended in the second half. I noticed AP was on Francois for a little bit. A couple of other guys rotated on him. Bjorn mentioned the adjustments you guys made at the half, and not just in terms of defending Lewis, but in terms of defending everybody on that team. What did you guys do at the half to make those adjustments?
Well, I mean, some of it was just, you guys might have been able to tell, but I was upset in the first half as I've been in a while, because with a veteran team, and we've had a couple mishaps like down there with attention to detail on scouting report, and that's all we talked about. And then to see them come out and get baskets early on based on what their bio says in their scouting report is very frustrating. And we had a little aggressive counseling sessions in those huddles there in the first couple medias. So I think part of it was that. I think our guys snapped back into it. But they're a very coachable group. We have a high basketball IQ group, so we can do, you know, make some adjustments and things like that to some schematic things that they're doing, and our guys did a good job of picking up on those things and executing.
You mentioned having a veteran team. They got it to 79-79 with like 6 minutes left. Nick hits a bucket, Bjorn gets one, and you go on a 6-0 run and really kind of put the game away at that point. Was that one of those things where you look at your guys and you're like, yeah, I've got the guys who've been through this before, maybe PC doesn't?
Well, I mean, you know, I think they got some guys who've been through it too. I mean, Devon Bell's been here forever, you know, and he's really good. I mean, gosh, it's ridiculous. We had 13 assists, 1 turnover tonight. I think he had 15 in the last game. That's 28 in 2 games. Pretty darn impressive. So they got a veteran team too. Francois Lewis is one of the best players in the league. He's a senior. That kid's a senior. But you know, I as explosive as they are offensively, we are too. I mean, we have a lot of pieces, as we know, that can get a bucket in any given possession. And you know, we can. You know, I think Clark Kellogg just called it spurtability. And I think we have good spurtability, and we got a nice spurt there at the end.
How nice was it to have the crowd making some noise, especially in the
Yeah,
second half?
it was. You know, yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm so appreciative of all the people that invest their hard-earned entertainment dollar on our product. So make sure you write that first and foremost. Like, I appreciate it, because they could spend it on anything else. They could stay home and watch, you know, the TV shows that are on and all that stuff, but they come here, invest their time and money, and I value that. They're our customers. But I think today was the first game that I can remember in a long time where they really made a major impact in the game. And they had spurtability. They erupted at the right time. And they were big buckets, there was big roars and big timeouts, everybody was standing up. Like, I get frustrated sometimes because we work so hard on theatrics and lights and blow-up dolls and noise and the pregame introductions, and like, people don't stand up, you know? I mean, all the places that I've been to, when you introduced the Xavier Musketeers, it's like, wah! Like everybody's starting lineup, they are cheering, screaming, and it's like a theater sometimes. Participate, come on. That's just constructive criticism. I'm going to go back to how much I value our customers. But they were that way today, darn it. They were, right, Mr. Gobbo?
Yes, sir.
Am I allowed to say this
Yes, sir.
without offending anybody? Because I love them.
I know you do.
So
You can smooth it over pretty good.
smooth it over pretty good. And then just keep doing that. Be a factor. And they were that way tonight. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that okay? Try not to offend anybody.
Yeah. And speaking of, you know, your fan support, Mr. Anumba is watching from wherever he is overseas, and he's sending his support and says hello to you.
Michael's a phenomenal young man, and he gets it honestly. I got to know his dad during the recruiting process. Never met his mom in person, but they were over here for the last couple of weeks. Just wonderful, wonderful people. And that's why Michael's turned out the way he has. Great student, as you know, high character kid, tough as nails. He's gonna be a big time player here over the next couple of years. So hello to the Anumbas.
I mean, that game felt a lot like the first one, sort of flip-flopped. You know, what do you think happened for your guys kind of down the stretch?
We just couldn't get stops, and credit Winthrop. They're very explosive offensively, and we were handling their ball screens pretty well, and then they just kind of stopped setting them and just really spread us out and drive, went 4 guards, and so we couldn't keep them out of the lane. We just couldn't get stops when we needed to get stops.
You mentioned keeping them out of the lane. It seems as though you went zone on a couple of possessions, and they were getting pretty easy line drives there, and then started to make some adjustments. But what do they do differently in the second half offensively, if anything?
I thought they played smaller, and so it kind of forced us to play, smaller some. But that's who, they are. They lead. I mean, they're some of the top categories in the country on 3-pointers, and they either shoot a 3 or a layup. And we knew we were going to take away their 3-point attempts, but we tried to take care of the paint. 38 points is, way above what we, set out. But for us, 85 points is enough to win a game, and we could not stop them down the stretch.
What did they do differently on Francois in the second half? You had 19 in the first half, and then in the second half, it seems as though they were denying touches a lot more.
They were switching a little bit with him, and denying him, and that them playing smaller allowed that. And so then he would kind of go down the post and try to post a smaller guard, and we had a difficult time getting him the ball down there.
I'm going to write something at some point, like probably before the conference tournament, just about how big the 3-pointer is in this league. I think bigger than like a lot of leagues in the country. What do you think that could make for as far as the tournament when you've got so many teams that on a good night could like beat each other?
I don't want to think about the tournament because it's wide open.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good teams, a lot of really good coaches in this league. And you got a lot of guys, a lot of really good players, and individually. And the 3-pointer is, it's a game changer in college basketball, especially when there's a lot of teams shoot the ball so well.
Yeah, like you look at like Francois or even their big guy. I mean, that seems to be average for this league. Like for the 5.
Yeah, and I think that's probably just our philosophy, recruiting-wise. I know it is for us. We like skilled guys that step out shooting. I think Coach Kelsey does the same. And so for us, we're number 1 and number 2 in 3-pointers in the Big South. And so there was a lot of good shooters out there today. And so that can be a game changer. When we play them, I feel like I'm coaching against the Golden State Warriors at times.
Yeah.
Just the way they move the ball and share it and then shoot it.
Yeah. Do you like the threes, layups, and free throws idea too, or are you a little looser on that?
There is a philosophy with that, maybe not to that extent.
Yeah.
But we try to turn in a good shot for a great shot, and, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I don't want to live and die by the 3.
Yeah. Right.
Because I think like we did a good job of getting to the free throw line tonight. We were 19 for 20 from the line, and we talked about that. We emphasized game one with them. We got to the line over 30 times, and so you know, certainly that's an emphasis of ours too.
You got to have like that other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Really new, but I know down there when they brought a big crowd, you all brought a big crowd up here. Really seemed to be rivalry be growing, especially when you have competitive games like you had a pair of competitive games this year between these two squads.
Yeah, and I mean I think that, you know, obviously the last couple years Radford has been you know, very, very good in this league, as other teams. I don't leave them out, but over the last decade or even beyond, you know, Winthrop's been the you know, the class of the league, and so you know, I think as we keep, you know, building here, I think our excitement and our fan base is growing as well.